Hi Year 10, this is your 2-point perspective tutorial, how to draw cubes. This will make up your second mastery checkpoint of your timber knot puzzle, but more importantly, this is your first tutorial in learning how to draw like a product designer. If you keep practicing and building up your skills, we want you to be able to draw really complex three-dimensional drawings that communicate your design ideas really clearly. So we are going to start today by learning how to draw cubes, and that is the foundation piece of how to draw like a product designer. The aim of this tutorial is for you to have 4 cubes on your page from using a range of perspectives. You'll see on this drawing that there are 3 types of line weights. So that means how dark a line is. I've got all these construction lines that helped me create my perfectly perspective cubes or rectangles. We've got these really dark exterior lines, and then we've got a sort of medium internal line of my shape. So to have a look at those more closely, you'll see that we've got construction lines that are really, really light. They help me build my drawing. This is where I'm exploring. I might make a few mistakes. They're so light, so I can just rub them out really, really easily. And then you won't even see them if I want to start again, or change my mind. These darker lines, however, if I drew all of my construction lines at this line weight, you'll see that when I go to rub that out, you still see the indent, you see some of the lead still because you can't get it out of the paper, and that's going to make our page look really messy. So we only do our dark outlines when we are tracing over the top of our construction lines. And then we've got our medium internal lines that we can apply to our drawings when we are also quite confident that that's a line we want to commit to. Let's get started. Okay, the reason why I love this style of drawing is because there's rules and logic to it. We're going to start by using a ruler because that is going to help us with our perspective, and we want to make sure that all of our drawings are nice and neat. Let me just refocus the camera so that it's nice and clear for us. Let me just try and do that. Cool. All right, that's much better. Okay, so I have got my ruler. It is parallel to the edges of my piece of paper, my horizontal piece of paper. I'm going to draw a nice straight horizon line using my construction line weight. On each end of my line, I'm going to place 2 crosses, and these are called vanishing points, and we're going to use these throughout all of our drawings. So I've got my left hand vanishing point. I've got my right hand vanishing point. I'm going to start off by placing my ruler perpendicular to the edge of my page, and that means I've got a perfect right angle. That's important, and that's rule number 1, is all vertical lines need to be perpendicular to the edge of the page and parallel to each other. So I'm going to draw my first line. I'm going to come to the center, but then drag my ruler off to the left. I'm going to draw a line that is about 4 to 5 centimeters. You're just going to estimate. I've used a medium line weight there because this is going to form an edge of my cube. I'm going to start by at the base of my line. I'm going to take the base to my left hand vanishing point and to my right hand vanishing point using my ruler. So I'm going to line it up with my vanishing point, come to the base of my line, and I'm going to draw a really light construction line. I'm going to do that to my right hand vanishing point as well, trying to draw as light as I can because I might not need these lines later. And I'm going to do that again at the top of my line. So I come to the very end up the top, left hand vanishing point, right hand vanishing point. Cool. Now you can see that these lines, my construction lines, this one is quite severe and this one is a bit more relaxed and a bit more gentle. And that's all depending on how close one of what I'm drawing is to a vanishing point. And that's fine, that's part of this technique. I'm now going to, in between my 2 construction lines that I've drawn, place in the back edge of my cube. So rule number 1 is that all vertical lines need to be perpendicular to the edge of the page and parallel with each other. So I'm placing my ruler on my first line and dragging back, so to keep that parallel. I'm then going to estimate another sort of distance to keep my cube as a cube and not a rectangle. It's fine if it's a rectangle. So I've done that on the left hand side. I'm going to do that again on the right hand side in between my construction lines. I'm drawing that medium line weight. And there we go, mine's going to end up a rectangle. Okay, so we have got 3 parallel lines. That's rule number 1, they're vertical to each other. We've already started rule number 2, and that is that every sort of horizontal line goes back to a vanishing point. So let's take our right hand side line here. It already goes to our right vanishing point, so we need to take it to our left hand vanishing point. So I come to the top of the line, and I'm just going to construction line weight back to the vanishing point. Same goes for this line. It already goes to the left, so let's take it to the right. Okay, so now I have got a cube that is in perfect perspective. It might be getting a little bit lost in our construction lines now. So I've got my cube. I'm confident that that's what I want. I don't need to do any rubbing out. So I'm now going to go over the edges in that dark line weight and just the exterior edges, the outer edges. And I'm going to use my ruler to make sure I'm being nice and neat. And I'm not veering off my lines. And then we have it. We've got cube number 1 in perfect perspective. We're now going to jump up to the sort of top right quadrant of our page. And we're going to just do that all over again. I'm going to speed up a little bit this time as I draw. So I'm going to start off with my perpendicular line above the horizon line this time, roughly 4-ish centimeters. Okay, from the base, I'm going to go to my right hand vanishing point, really light construction lines. I'm going to do that again from the top, line it up, really light. Cool. In between my construction lines, I'm going to place in my first edge. I could go medium here because I'm confident that that's the line I'm going to keep, medium line weight. And then once again, I'm putting the base in this time because I'm above the horizon line, so I'll be looking at it from the bottom. I didn't quite draw that there. Yep. Okay, so I need to go to my left hand vanishing point, nice and light construction line weight. My right hand vanishing point, nice and light construction line weight. Great, there's my cube. I'm now going to go over my outer edges in that darker line weight. Brilliant. So that's 2 cubes. We're going to draw 2 more, top left and bottom right. I'm going to start with my bottom right. Once again, I'm going to go faster this time and explain less because we're now just practicing the skill. So perpendicular line, vanishing points, nice and light. In between my construction lines, making sure that these lines are all parallel with each other. Left hand vanishing point, right hand vanishing point. Got my cube, it looks good. I'm going to go over my lines, my exterior lines in that third dark line weight. Cool. 1 more to go. Gonna go top left. Okay. Line perpendicular to the edge of my page. Bottom edge to vanishing points. Top edge to vanishing points. Just really cementing this skill. It's getting more confusing now, so I've got to make sure I pick the right construction lines to go between. Between construction lines, from the base of those lines, left hand vanishing point, right hand vanishing point. Happy with my cube, make sure I pick the lines. Now you're going to notice that each cube or rectangular prism looks slightly different, and that is because of where it's placed on the page. So each cube is going to look different because we're seeing it from a different perspective, and that's why this technique is great, because it allows us to explore an object from a range of angles. So brilliant. If you followed along to this point, you've completed your mastery checkpoint number 2. What you're going to need to do then is take a photo of your work so you can upload it into your folio. Nice and clear picture. Nice and clear picture, ready to upload into my student workbook. Well done, guys. See you soon.